Emily, can you hear me, Emily?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really, really well.
Well, it is good to be here to see you live and in living color. And I'm so happy that we'll be able to talk about a very important topic today. We are going to be talking about the coronavirus in China and how this has impacted the teaching English industry around the world, but specifically the industry in China. So if you don't know, now you know. I'm going to introduce to you my lovely colleague co-host today, Emily Stratton. She is an online English teacher. And how long have you been teaching online?
Okay, so I just made it past my 1.5 year mark. Yeah, yay, thank you. I know it's very exciting. Hold on 1 second. I disconnected my lighting.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, but I think you can hear me still, right?
Yes, I can hear you. And I am Venice Irving. I am the CEO of Happy Teachers. And at Happy Teachers, we are a training consultant company. We train teachers and place them in jobs both online and abroad. And we also have our new institute called the Caribbean TESOL Institute, where we offer Tefl certifications to young teachers who are just coming into the industry. I'm going to talk about that a little later. But Emily, we wanted to talk more about the coronavirus. I see Emily is trying to set up things there. But let's start first by just telling you what coronavirus is. So coronaviruses are an extremely common cause of colds and other upper respiratory infections. These viruses are zoonoses, which means they can infect certain animals and spread from one animal to another. A coronavirus can potentially spread to humans, particularly if certain mutations in the virus occur. Chinese health authorities have reported a group of cases of viral pneumonia to the World Health Organization in late December 2019. Many of the ill people had contact with a seafood and animal market in Wuhan, a large city in eastern China, though it has since become clear that the virus now can spread from person to person. Now, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are coughing, possibly with a fever or shortness of breath. There are some early reports of non-respiratory symptoms like nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. Now, many people do recover within a few days, but the very young and the elderly or those with weakened immune system may develop a more serious infection such as bronchitis or pneumonia. So that's just a background on what coronavirus is. I must say to you, just like what I just read, that the coronavirus is common, but this particular strain of coronavirus is deadly. So this is a particular strain of coronavirus that tends to affect people in their respiratory system. So, Emily, we want to know, how did the coronavirus affect the English teaching industry in China?
Okay, so for any English teachers out there, they'll know what's going on, but if you're not teaching, then I'll explain it. Essentially right now is Chinese New Year, which means that bookings are normally down about 25%.
Yes.
Because families are traveling and people are spending time with their relatives and everyone goes back to their historical home. The kids are also off of school for about a month. However, with the outbreak of the coronavirus, they're extending the holiday break. And so all the kids have been home for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's pushing into a month. That means that there's been no education for about a month. But there's been some, but it's they're relying really heavily on online classrooms. So bookings are not down 25%, they're actually up exponentially.
Wow.
So this is also the time of the year that most online teachers take time off. So there's a huge demand for teachers. And students are taking run multiple classes a day, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of demand for it. And yeah, but I want to first, before I go right into that, I do want to say, my heart really does go out to Wuhan and to all of China. I want to thank everyone out there, because realistically, the reason that we're seeing such an increase in bookings is because families sacrificed going back to their ancestral homes. They decided to stay home. They're taking it really seriously. This is not, the government's not blocking them down. This is something that people are socially being conscious of, that they don't want to spread something that, like you said, could harm others. So I just want to thank everyone in China for everything you're doing, because you guys are really our heroes right now. So my heart goes out to you. My prayers and my blessings are with you. Yeah. So I just want to start by saying that. And so, like I said, there's a really big increase in bookings, and also there's a shift in times. So normally there's a large demand for people to teach after school hours, but because everyone's home, children and adults alike, and a lot of them maybe aren't working or they're staying home more, then there's an increase in demand during the Chinese day, which is our evening if you're living in America or in the Caribbean. So that also means that there's a big shift in the times. So opening up your bookings, just so you can, one, increase your clientele and also accommodate the increased demand that we have.
All right. So thank you for that rundown of what is going on in China. I know many of them are on lockdown. I've spoken to quite a few of the teachers that are teaching English in China, and many of them have not come out for a month. So they truly have been on lockdown. So the next thing we want to look at, we want to know what tips and how can somebody go about now landing a teaching English job online. These jobs are out there now. The hours are racking up. Everybody's looking for online teachers. So give us some information on how we can land a job.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over the basic things you need and then take it from there. You need a computer. There are a couple job sites out there that you can do off your phone, but I haven't met a large amount of people who have been successful making a lot of money off of these platforms. If they are using their phone only, that's maybe because they're teaching on 3 or 4 different platforms with 3 or 4 different companies. So I would say you absolutely need a computer. The higher RAM and the faster computer that you have, the better it's going to be. I'm going to say that a really cheap $200 computer is just not going to cut it. You can't run the programs, and it's just not fast enough. You get a lot of video lag, and it's just not going to work out. You probably won't pass the interview. So the number one thing you need is a computer. The number 2 thing you need is an internet connection. So I actually teach off of a hotspot off of my phone. I don't use a landline. Because it's actually very reliable, and you can just pay per megabyte and use it when you need it. And you can get it cheap enough that it's well worth it if you're making, good money. So you don't really need a landline. Don't think you need to go out and do that right now. Eventually, it's a good idea to get one because you will be using it a lot. But if you're just starting off, don't feel intimidated by, I only have a hotspot on my phone. Don't let that hold you back. So 2, good internet. You're also going to need, I'd say number 3 is a Tefl certificate, especially if you're teaching in China. Due to new regulations that were passed in November of 2019, China now makes a requirement that anyone who wants to teach in China has to have a Tefl. So can I pass it on to you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So welcome to the Caribbean TESOL Institute, where we offer different Tefl courses. We have different courses like teaching English as a foreign language to online learners. So if you are a teacher and you just specifically want to focus on online strategies to reach online learners, you can do that certificate. We have teaching English as a foreign language certificate to young learners. So if you like the children and you want to know the different strategies to keep their attention when you're having a class, you can opt to do that course. We have the teaching certificate for adult learners. And then we have our flagship program, which is a diploma. And it's in essence a postgraduate diploma. So when you're finished with that diploma, that's a diploma in teaching English as a foreign language, you now can transfer those credits to a university in somewhere in the world. We have about 8 universities that you can transfer those credits to. And then you can complete a master's degree in teaching English as a foreign language within, say, 9 to 12 months. So within up to a year, you can stay and finish up a master's degree if you do our diploma, which is in essence a postgraduate diploma. All right, so Emily, we've talked about the Tefl certs that you're gonna need. We've talked about the computer. We've talked about all those things. I want you to tell of the teachers here who may not have a background in education, do they need a degree in English or in teacher education to teach English online?
Okay, so China does require, that's part of the regulations, that you have at least a bachelor's. I think you can be like in your last year of getting it, but you do need a bachelor's. There's a lot of other opportunities though. If you don't have a degree, there's lots of other companies out there that don't require one.
Right.
Normally the pay will be lower.
Exactly.
So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lower pay because you have a lower education level. So, which is very standard in like the job industry. But if you don't have a degree, there's still a lot of opportunities out there.
All right. Now, what do I need?
Can I finish with my equipment? So computer, internet, TEFL. You also need to have a webcam. And headphones are pretty important. You can get away with maybe using earbuds, but it comes across as being kind of like unprofessional and just not prepared. So I know people who have great resumes. They have TEFL, they have a bachelor's, and literally the company just said you didn't have over-the-ear headphones. Sorry. So I have these ones. Oh goodness. Oh, they're really old. They're MPOW. You can buy these off of like AliExpress or Amazon. They're like $20. They're not that expensive. They're noise canceling. They're really good. But you are going to need it. If you can borrow one just for an interview, go for it. I borrowed all of my equipment when I was first starting off. I had just been living in Jamaica for like 2.5 years. I came home with very little funds or anything. So I started off teaching English online, borrowing a laptop. I was borrowing a headset. I had this really ancient laptop. So just don't feel like you need to really go out and buy all this equipment, but also understand that it's going to probably be necessary for you to get a job. Yeah, and then it goes on from there. A background's great. Really good lighting's really important. A big smile on your face. All of that's really good.
Pleasant personality. All right, what are employers looking for though? So we have all the, say for example, I have all the equipment. I have my laptop, my headphone, I have my qualifications, and I have my, what else do I need? You need
a webcam, you need your headphones.
Well, the webcam is attached to the laptop. So say I have all of that ready, all the equipment ready, and I'm ready to see what these employers are actually looking for. Can you help me?
Okay, so the competition is, you're competing with people all over the world.
Exactly.
So that's actually a great question, because you can't get even past the initial stage unless you have a TEFL. They're just going to automatically cut you off, right? So you have all of that. What's going to make you actually get the job? Number one, I would say, is neutral accent. Trying to neutralize your accent the best you can is very, very important. Even I have an accent that I have to neutralize. Everyone has an accent you need to neutralize. And just try to neutralize it the best you can. That's probably the number one important thing. Number two, just try to be as like friendly as you possibly can. People tend to be really like rigid and severe and strict when they are a teacher. So try to make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more lively. Because when you're teaching, the only thing you get to see is someone's screen. That's it. So there's not a lot of interaction you're going to have unless it's like big smiles and a big personality that comes through the screen. Also, try to showcase your skills. So one of the reasons that getting a TEFL is so important is because maybe you don't have any experience teaching English as a foreign language, or maybe you don't have any experience teaching online. And a lot of these certificates are actually going to walk you through the process. One of the main things that they require in my company, and almost all of them now, is something called TPR.
Yes.
TPR is essentially talking with your hands. So when you get your interview, showcase it. Be, hi, my name is Emily. So talk with your hands.
Yes.
You frequently do things like this when you want your student to reply to you. You'll point to your mouth if you're making a pronunciation correction, things like that. So showcase your skills. If you're talking about your nose, point to your nose. If you're saying fingers, wiggle your fingers. So those are other skill sets you're going to need. You're definitely going to need to know at least some foundation of basic grammar. Know your grammar skills. Know the basic things that maybe you're like, what's an adverb? I haven't learned that in a long time. Look that kind of stuff up. You're going to definitely need to showcase your TPR. Almost every company will require it. And then also know that you can reapply to almost all of these. Take constructive feedback from every company you get and build off of it. That's
all right. So thank you for going through those tips and helping us to know what the employers are looking for. Now, I need to know another thing from you. It's very important to have the equipment and very important to know what the employers are looking for. But where are the jobs? Tell me, which company can I start sending my resumes to? Because I'm sure all the teachers are on the edge of their seats, waiting with bated breath. Want to know, where are these jobs, Emily? Tell me, where are the jobs?
So my number one recommendation, I'm sure a lot of people have applied for, is Cambly. I work for Cambly. I love working for Cambly. Cambly openly hires Jamaicans. I know lots of Jamaicans who work for Cambly. They have a really nice booking system where they help you get clients because you basically fill a spot and you wait for calls to come in. And they pay you a minimum. It's really, really nice. Cambly's wonderful. I suggest everyone try to apply to it with all of my tips and my tricks. Be patient. Sometimes it takes a really long time to get hired.
That's what I heard.
I have a couple referrals that have gotten through and they haven't taught yet. So go check your Cambly account on a regular basis to see if you've gotten through. Be like, oh, I did apply for that a while ago.
Right.
Check. Send them an email. Ask, why haven't I heard anything? Figure out what's going on. Message them on Facebook. So the number one company I recommend is Cambly. Cambly also does have Chinese students. And if you're on Cambly, make sure you open up those Chinese hours right now. English Ninjas is a really good alternative. It's exactly the same as Cambly. It's just a different company. They also openly hire Jamaicans and people of all different types of accents. And what's the other companies? I know you have some. iTutor. Give iTutor a chance. Some people, iTutorGroup is really interesting. You are going to get people on the internet that rip it apart. And if you're trying to apply for jobs, you're definitely going to read reviews. I know people who work for iTutorGroup and they love it. I know people who work for iTutorGroup and they hate it. So try it out. It's definitely not a bad place to start. They offer everyone very different pays, and there's a bonus system. So don't just get discouraged if you can offer like a very low base pay. Almost every company offers a low base pay, and then you build up for every 40 classes, you get an extra $1.
And then you get bonuses, right?
Yes, I have a really low base pay at my company, but you just make bonuses the more classes you teach, etc. So don't get discouraged by a low base pay. iTutorGroup, Cambly, I'm going to have to post these. English Ninjas.
Right. SkyENG.
Which one?
SkyENG. Do you know of SkyENG?
You know more about that one, but that's not a Chinese company.
That's the one I used to work at. Okay, so SkyENG is a Russian online tutorial company. They hire Jamaicans because, of course, I was one of their tutors. And I met another Jamaican on SkyENG too. They offer a base pay. I think they start at about $8 to $10, depending on your qualifications. And then you can rack up your pay on, just like what Emily said, just by bonuses and teaching extra classes and so forth. They tend to change students often though. So you don't keep the same students forever and ever, amen. You every class you have a different student. So every class you have to learn about a new student, learn their likes, dislikes, and find out their levels and stuff like that. But I highly recommend SkyENG. I love it. It's a great company to work for.
Preply and iTutorGroup are both companies, and they're really fun too because you can just type in Jamaica in both of those, and if you're looking for inspiration, they have tutors on there that have introduction videos that are Jamaican. I always think it's really nice to see somebody who looks like you, who's successful, who's out there, that's making good money doing it. So even if you don't want to apply for Preply is also looking for people who are willing to teach the Jamaican language of patois, but they don't have enough teachers out there who are willing to teach it to offer it as a course. But if you want, yeah. So because I emailed them and I said,
that? Do you hear that? That's good news.
I said, why don't you guys have patois? And they said, we don't have enough teachers. If you have anyone willing to apply, please send them our way. So that's iTutorGroup also does
already.
iTutorGroup also does the same. You can teach both English and patois. People complain about not getting enough bookings on iTutor, but what you really need to do is set your rates kind of low at first to build up your clientele and then up them as you go. There's kind of a snowball effect. The more you're booked, the more people think you're desirable. So like as soon as you get 50% booked, it just kind of snowballs and you're 100% booked.
Okay.
So
what
set
about
your
iTalki.
What was I saying? iTalki, yeah. iTalki and Preply are essentially the same. They're like almost the same.
Okay, and then you have Bibo Global. And you have 51 Talk. I used to work for 51 Talk.
51 Talk has had a lot of structural changes within the last year. Apply for them and see what happens. It seems like, in my opinion, what they did is they went through and they fired almost all of their American teachers who were making like $25 an hour, and they started hiring people at a lower wage.
At a lower rate.
Lower rate means like, I don't know, anywhere between 10 to 5 or something. So it still can be good money. I don't know though. I don't know enough people who work for
I worked at the 51 Talk, the UK branch. So it was 51 Talk UK that I worked at.
Yeah.
And they hired mostly British folks and people from the Commonwealth, of which Jamaica is a part of. So we didn't have any problem at that time. But you can also apply to PalFish. Mm-hmm. Do you know much about PalFish, Emily?
I do. PalFish requires a lot. So PalFish is really interesting because you can just download the app on your phone, but they do require a lot. They require a Tefl. They require a lot of like hours of work to get it together.
Oh, I see.
And then
so they want experienced teachers.
Yes, and there's also, because it's on your mobile phone, there's a lot of people who are interested in doing it.
So huge demand. Okay.
The people I've talked to who have been successful started off literally giving their classes away for free for like months until they got enough clients and they got enough stuff, and then they could up their rates. So if you're willing to put the time in and like really try, yes, try it, especially if you only have a phone.
Okay. And the last one I have here is iQBar.
iQBar.
I've never heard
awesome.
of it before, so this one is new for me.
iQBar is out of the UK, so you get paid in the pound, which is really nice. And it's also, I think they do every subject. So
they do it by subjects.
You can teach math or chemistry so it's a tutoring. The last time I checked into it, they weren't hiring at the moment. They go through like cycles, but I don't know. I haven't checked in like a couple months. But put it on your list. iQBar is really good. And I know Jamaican people who work for them too. They don't have quite as many hours, so you're gonna work less, but you make more, which is really nice.
All right. So guys, we are off to the last wrap up now. We are wrapping up. And I really hoped that you guys got some good information. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see questions, so I don't know if my people have questions. Do you know if your people have questions, Emily?
So I wasn't able to live stream it. So
Oh,
that's
you
okay
weren't?
I'm gonna take this video and then I'll upload it later.
Well, we should do it again, try it again and see. But mine is definitely live, and I have a couple of people on right now that are listening.
So what I want to say though is those 5 companies or 6 companies are just the tip of the iceberg. Those are companies that I personally vouch for.
We talked about 10 companies.
10 companies. Okay. So those are companies that I know Jamaican people get hired through.
Right.
I know people who are here on the island working for them, making good money, because it's really disheartening when you get through an application process and you think to yourself, did I not get that job just because I'm Jamaican? So what I try to do is be like, sure, this is absolutely a job that you're not getting this job because you're discriminated against. So, but there's a lot of websites and a lot of recruiters out there. OETSjobs.com, I think is what it is. That's a great website, and they have like hundreds of companies out there. There's very small companies that maybe have 15 different tutors. Maybe one of them's Jamaican or one of them South African. Those are great jobs to apply to, but they're not the ones that I talk about, because the ones that I talk about hire like hundreds and hundreds of teachers all the time. But those are great opportunities out there. And you can find them. Talking to a recruiter is also really good. If you send your resume out to a recruiter, and I have some names of recruiters that I researched and they seem good, the recruiters make their money off of once you get hired. So they're going to really try to help you through the process. However, they're probably not going to recommend companies that don't give them a referral. Like English Ninjas doesn't offer a referral program, so they don't ever talk about it. So yeah, recruiters and other job sites, go on and look. If you've topped out all 10 of those and they're not working for you, there are hundreds and hundreds of opportunities out there. But keep in mind that as a Jamaican, you're normally going to be classified, and it's heartbreaking to say this, as a non-native. They just do. Unless it says native, including South Africans, Jamaica is a small enough island that it doesn't, they're not going to, sometimes they'll say Jamaican, but I've very rarely seen it. But you can bet if they're taking in non-natives and they're taking in South Africans, then they'll absolutely work with Jamaicans. Okay. So that's my tip.
All right. So thank you so much, Emily. Now I'm going to wrap up by giving you guys tips. So when you land the job and you're ready to teach these students who are locked up, can't go out, you want to be sure that you know how to speak to them and come off as somebody that's well informed and a compassionate teacher, right? So we're going to look at tips for teaching students who are affected by the coronavirus. First thing I want you to do is to stay informed. As a teacher, you need to stay informed. Do not get false information, or as Donald Trump would say, fake news, and spread it along, okay? Know and do some research on the information, and make sure you use reliable sources when you are researching the information. Secondly, I need you to be kind, be understanding. Don't laugh or mock, that's a definite no-no. But be kind, be understanding. Ask about the student's health. You can ask about the family. How's your family doing? How is everyone? How are you feeling? Maybe you're in the apartment now for a week, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you can't go out. Many of the students maybe are feeling nervous or anxious. So you now, 3, need to be calm, because now the student is going to look at you as a reassuring voice, a voice of reason, and a voice to calm their nerves. So you're going to speak positive words, reassuring words, and just show them that when you are calm, they can be calm too, right?
And this might be the only real fun thing they've done all day.
Exactly. So also be happy. Yeah. Make it fun, make it happy, because they're staying at home for 24 hours and they can't go outside. So maybe the only thing they can do is, other than watch TV, is come online and talk to you. So make it fun, make it happy, make it interactive, and get them bubbly and all excited again. And last thing I would like to do, and I got this information from Emily, is to integrate good hygiene tips in your lesson, because Emily said that in her company that she works, they give out different tips and pointers for good hygiene. Do you want to go talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so we send little notes to our students, and they say things like happy holidays, or like, you know, if there's a full moon, we talk about the stars. And this one's all about, you know, like kind of like big up in the kids for, you know, staying inside and making that sacrifice and washing their hands and wearing their masks. So just being really positive about it, like, good for you, look at you, you're being, you know, such a good person by doing that. And just going through the basics of, you know, stay hydrated, stay healthy, that kind of thing.
Eat well, make sure that you keep up with your nutrition, make sure that you take care of your family members, ensure that if they are feeling ill, or so that you take care of them, or that you allow them to the health authorities. All right, so I'm going to go over to my YouTube channel just to see if there are any questions, because it is time to wrap up.
I think so.
It is time to wrap up. Do you have any last minute thing to say? Before Emily says her last words, her parting words, I just want to let you know that all the information that we talk about, the list of the companies, we are going to put it down below in the box, the information box. So don't worry if you did not get to hear something, or maybe we talked too fast and you did not catch what we said. Everything will be in the comment box, so you can come back to this video and watch it again and again.
You're being, you know, such a good person by doing that.
Also,
and just going
Emily's
through the basics
information on my video in the comment box, so that you can go to her YouTube channel and subscribe. So don't worry about it. You can connect to Emily whenever you can. All right. All right. So Emily, anything you have to say?
Don't give up. If you want a job online, you'll find it. There's hundreds and hundreds of companies out there, and don't ever have anyone tell you that you won't get hired based on your nationality, because it's just not true.
Okay. All right. So Kadisha Pinup Balgrove, she said, is there a combination of the two Tefl courses, both adults and children? She wants to know if she can do both adults and children in one certificate, or does she need to do both separately? As far as I know, we have two separate certificates, one for adults, one for children. So there is a general certification too that you do that does not really focus on anyone, it just focuses on everyone. But if you want to do both adults and children, you'll have to take both separately. All right? That's the only question I'm seeing here. If you, as you continue to watch this in your free time, if you have any more questions, you can go down in the comment box, leave a question, leave a comment, tell us how you think this coronavirus is affecting the world, affecting China, and may even affect you. Yeah. Kadisha says, where can I see the cost for the courses offered? I will leave the link in the information box where you can get the information for the courses that I offer. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Emily. So thank you so much. We have to do this again. And I want us to go live at the same time.
I know.
That
so
is
good.
my goal.
All right. Thank you.
So
thank you.
I'm gonna probably do a series with you, Emily, so that we can get all your subscribers and my subscribers in on this information that is going out, and getting everybody educated about how they can teach English online and make US dollars. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, Emily.
Bye.